Bill and Henry. American funds, the maximum they will send you is 50 of the ICA guy. Good folk at Invesco said, how many?
So I was going through an old box and I had these the old napkin presentation.
Oh, cool.
Discs. And it's a lot of the stuff we do in here. Because when you sit down with someone, you just grab a napkin, write out things.
Primerica puts out a PowerPoint presentation to go with that. If you ever get the opportunity, that's the website, the PDF. We got Alan on, and I want him.
That darn Alan.
And there's always somebody.
I don't think he's really on. He's awful quiet.
And he always is. He always is.
He's a pilot, doesn't know how to use his microphone to say hey to you.
Actually, he did.
I'm winking on it.
Anyway, the dark line at the bottom is how much you owe on your mortgage, and here's your the lighter green is your equity, and it's talking about mortgage rate of 5.6%. Of course, that's kind of old now. We might get back to that year or two, but it's not going to happen. But they're talking about an average home appreciation of 4.5% a year.
4.5.
Yeah. So, you buy a $250,000 house, get it paid off in 30 years, by then it's worth $925,000. The realhowmoneyworks.com and download the PDF, and it'll have all of this. And then they talk about the advantages of owning a home versus renting. They don't paying off your mortgage faster. Eric's not going to get too excited about that.
No, he's not going to like that.
So I've been doing this, and I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I bought my house for $94,900, and I've refinanced a couple times, to get interest rates down. Right now, I owe $85,000 on my house.
Okay.
And I've lived in it for 30 years.
Okay.
Because I took the money that instead of paying to make an extra mortgage payment, I took that money and I invested it. I can easily pay off my house because I have money.
You have the money, right?
And my house is now estimated that price that the thing that you set up there. I don't believe it's that much, but yeah, people say my house is worth about $350 maybe.
Okay, still way
so I owe $85. If I sold it for $350, I could pay it off and go buy something. I still have $250,000 in cash that I can do whatever I want with. Okay. So I am a believer in not paying off a mortgage early.
Oh, yeah. You're a believer in not doing that extra in that house.
Right. Invest it. Do
okay,
something
makes
with
sense.
the money.
Okay.
So that's me and I've done it. I can actually say that I've done that. So since I've been with Primerica, I've done the processes that we preach.
Yeah.
Buy term and invest the difference. I don't have life insurance anymore because I don't need it.
You don't need it, yeah.
So, I do what we've done, and it made me being able to retire at 56. You say what?
$295.
Okay, so it's I would get $200,000 if I sold my house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know realtors who will spit at you if you talk about Zillow.
Oh God, yeah, we don't like Zillow.
I hate Zillow, and
because it's not accurate.
Eric says, and what I believe is a house is a liability. Mm-hmm. It's not an asset.
Not an asset. It's a liability. I read it's a liability as long as you still okay. It doesn't become an asset until you actually own it.
I bought me a golf cart like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
My grandson come up, we just routed the property stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Cam say, Sam, why would you go buy a golf cart? You're going to be on probably twice a month. I said, what about that living room furniture that we never sent in? This look good.
Something that's
commercial about you serve our whatever you're going to want to eat in the dining room. And the husband sits down at the table. So this is the dining room.
Oh, what if one of us get terminally ill? Then what? If we lose one income per se, then what would you guys say? What would be my answer to that comment?
So like right now,
if terminal illness struck one of you.
So neither one of us have an income, so we're blessed by that. We're not neither one of me or Patty work.
Put that in a working couple.
So if a working couple, that's where you got to make sure you either have cash or you have to have insurance. He dies, she sells, she gets $350,000. She takes that money, puts it into an account, and draw all
Okay.
$2,000 a month to pay for your rent or something like that.
Right.
And then that money will continue to grow, and it's just like, 5%, which is what we preach here.
Yeah.
You got $1 million, take 5%, $50,000 a year, it's 4,000 something a month. You can live on that. That's how you judge how much money you need to save. The same process. But if he dies and she's still there, and she's got to mow the lawn, she's not going to go out mow the lawn. She's got a weed eat.
She's not going to do that.
Right. So that's what Patty's like. I'll move to a small house somewhere.
Well, what we do in Primerica, we tell them don't pay off the house, beef up your investments so that you've got the money to keep up the house payment. Make sure that you have got 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in an emergency.
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. And when 2008 was getting so shaky, I was hearing advisors say that as your folks get closer to retirement, you might want to move a little bit more money into that money market fund. Because in retirement, if you could have a year's worth, because what if you got a bad year? A year you don't want to be selling off stock, then you can take it out of the money market without selling off your positions.
So what I do is I take some money and I move it into my money market account, and that's where the money I draw out of comes from.
Yeah, there you go.
Out of your money. Now, what is the
How
money?
far in advance?
What's the money market?
6 months.
Okay.
I do about every 6 months. I reevaluate because the market fluctuates.
Right.
And if one of my funds is doing really good, I'll take 6 months out, drop it in there.
Money market account is not in the
What is-
market. It's like maybe
It's like a savings account.
a savings account.
Oh, it's like a savings account.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you make one of the other funds, you put the money you make into your money.
Okay, off the funds that you're making, the money you're making off your other funds, you take it and dump it into this account, and this is more like your emergency.
Yeah. So like my retirement fund, I have like 5 funds.
Okay.
ACEIX, I have American Franchise, Comstock, I have funds in there.
Okay.
One of those is the money market account. So depending on what the market is, what I'll do is I'll take I don't know, 50 grand out of this one.
Okay.
Dump it into my money market account. But my money market account is set up to pull $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month.
You got a set amount that you.
And then when that starts running down and getting empty, then I'll go and pull some more money out of this one and dump it in there. So I don't have to make changes every year on how much money and what fund it comes out of. It just comes out of, and I just move some of this into here, move some of this into here. This allows these to grow and keep growing.
Okay.
Do you rebalance?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm diversified pretty good.
This guy named Nick Murray, I don't know if he's still alive, brilliant advisor. He's got this incredible book called Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth. And the only place you can get it is nickmurray.com. Costs you $25 worth of it. Nick, I've heard Nick speak a couple, 3 times. He's a very impressive man, older, bald-headed, with this powerful, deep, rich voice. And he said, I have a deal with God. I don't make a killing, and I don't get killed. And every year he takes his fund. He's got, it's in 5 areas. He's got some international. He's got some high cap, mid cap, and some fixed income. And every year he takes those 5 and he equals them out. Whatever has done well, we sell off and put it in what hadn't done.
What hasn't done well? Okay.
Because you don't know what the market's going to do year after year.
Right.
And so you're hedging your bets.
Okay.
But I love what he said. I don't make a killing and I don't get killed.
So a quick way is if you have 5 funds, you have 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 in each. Just as an example.
Okay.
Okay. And then this fund here goes up to 40,000.
Okay.
What he's saying is rebalancing is you would take this 20 that you made and rebalance it into your other ones so they all go back to 25,000, 25,000.
Oh, okay.
Rebalancing them to equal them all out.
Oh, okay.
Now, Primerica now has a asset allocation optimizer program that will automatically do that for your clients if you want to.
Okay.
And it's counterintuitive. It sounds weird. This fund's done so well, and so you want to sell it and buy the one that hadn't done so well. Explain that to me, please.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what the market's going to do.
Because I got that money saved, I'm not losing, and these are fluctuating,
Mm-hmm.
but now I have time for these to grow back up, back to what they were before, because if I was taking money out of this one, it's dropping, taking money out, it'll never recover back in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I do it. I use the money market account as the money I pull money out.
That's smart.
Okay.
That's really smart.
Okay.
They said it almost as if it were a requirement that when you are doing an investment program for a client, an emergency fund, you need to have a money market. Now, what hurts about that is we don't get paid to set those up.
Right.
You don't get a commission on that at all. Now, I was shocked to discover that I am getting 12B1s off the money markets, but you don't get paid commission on it. And it's $1 share,
Mm-hmm.
and it just stays that way. I tell people it might grow a little bit faster than your savings account, but not much.
Not much.
But the advantage of putting it in the money market, to me, is you can't get it fast. You have to send the money.
The goal is for any new client you're starting with, if they don't have an emergency fund, you open up a money market. You open up a non-qualified account.
TOD.
Okay, a transfer on death account. You start putting,
Transfer on death.
yeah, TOD.
TOD.
You start
Okay, transfer on death. Okay,
You
go ahead,
start
Mom.
putting money into the money market account on that fund.
Okay.
When they start going, if they're not using that money market account, let's say they're putting $100 in, let's just say, and all of a sudden then you get back with them and you take 50 and put it in the money market, then you'll take the other 50 and put it into like an American franchise. So they start growing their other wealth in that same account.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you want that money market account to be at least 3 to 6 months. You can save $200. We'll put 100 in your money market and 100 in American franchise fund,
Mm-hmm.
or 100 in money market, 50 in American franchise fund, and 50 in ACEIX.
Okay.
You're starting to diversify that account.
Okay.
So some grows, some kind of grows, and some won't grow. That's your emergency.
Okay.
It's safe. You're not going to lose anything. It's the
Okay.
1%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a client who canceled her emergency fund. It's just not giving me the growth I need.
But it's
And I'm
not
going,
It's not supposed to.
Nancy. You know, there's a
It's
point.
not-
There's a point at which you go forth in peace, my child.
Every year when you hear talk about government closure,
Mhm.
TSA people start, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house. And stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you need to have 3 to 6 months of
Exactly.
expenses.
Yeah.
I have been wanting to have a program to show people called recession proofing. Let me teach you, because are we going to have a recession? I don't know. Well, sooner or later, we're going to have recession again. It's going to happen.
You think so?
Well, maybe not this year, maybe not next year.
Sometime or
But
another.
after a while,
Could be 200 years from now.
yeah, who knows? But
Yeah.
I can teach you how to get through it. And I can't teach you how to get through it without any sweat whatsoever, but I can teach you how not to die in a recession. Have you heard the joke about you used to be worried about the NSA listening to everything, and now you're sitting in the kitchen, you got a lecture, hey, NSA, you got a good recipe for pancakes? Sure.
For my pension, I wanted the most money now.
That's what he did. Yeah.
I wanted the most because I want my retirement money to be able to grow longer.
There you go.
Right.
So once I hit Social Security age in another year and a half, I got that stupid offset.
Yeah.
So my pension will drop down to, I don't know, $1,500. That means I'm going to have to take more from my 401k to cover that. Plus I'll get Social Security, which will offset it.
We don't have offset. We didn't have offset. The NPS.
Yeah.
So,
But you want your 401k,
No.
you want to take the free money as much as you can, because take the pre-money as much as you can and save your retirement money as long as you can. I plan to take Social Security at 62. That's what my long-term goal was to do. I wanted to take the free money as much as fast as I can, like I said, to save my 401k as long as I could.
Okay.
Yeah. If you wait to take it to your FRA full retirement age, they don't take tax. They don't tax. But if you take it at 62, they will. The way Primerica works, if you want to get promoted, you got to recruit somebody. Eric has set it up so that we don't have to build a big team, but you're going to have to recruit somebody. The people who build the huge base shops and have the $2 and $3 and $8 million rings, Willie Durando has got 85 stinking diamonds on his ring, and the next closest to him is like 52, something like that. And they update 12-month rolling twice a week, and every time there's Willie made $8.5 million in the last 12 months, and his downline Miguel Dillage made 4.2. He makes twice as much as number 2. And he will tell you that the way he does it is licensing, not recruiting, licensing. He says that you will make $1,000 a year for every license you have in your base shop and in all the base shops under you. And he can show you numbers that I had this many licenses through first, and this is how much money I made. It will show you everybody in Primerica who made over $40,000. And it's this long. 5,229 agents in Primerica made $40,000. In 2024, Primerica paid $7,331 average per agent. And Primerica's working real hard to help you people get started, help them get off to a fast start, help them make money fast. Because if they log on to POL within 24 hours of taking their IPA, they put $50. If you finish your life class, online or in person, within 30 days, that's another $100. I love Glenn Williams. I adore that man. I would get down on the ground and kiss his feet. He's so amazing. Glenn finally one day said, put it in the field. Whatever's broke, we'll fix it as we go. And they have paid out millions of dollars. Bob Safford, who's been dead for 7 years, but I adore Bob. When Bob sits down with you, Bob's making appointments before you've even filled out your paperwork.
Wow.
And here's the way he does it. Tell me your 3 best friends. Who would you call in the middle of the night if you had a flat tire? And get him on the phone. Dial the number, and he'll take the phone, and he'll say, hello, is this so-and-so? Hold for Cheryl Walker, and hand the phone to you, and you'll say, this is Will Thomas. Why don't you talk to him a minute? And take the phone back, and he's going to set an appointment. He's going to set you 3 appointments before you even done your paper.
Wow.
Eric used to say, you can have a license, you don't know anything. You don't learn the business studying for licenses. You have to, I keep telling people, the license is a hoop you got to jump through to get paid. And the license courses are not written by successful agents, they're written by bureaucrats. And they have about as much to do with your success as the driving test does with being a good driver. There's some things, but would you say 80% of what's on the driving test you don't ever have to worry about again? Same thing with life, same thing with securities, all that stuff. And people are stressing over the test. Don't worry about the test. The test is not important. You learn this business across the kitchen table. You learn this business kneecap to kneecap with people, hearing a presentation, listening to their objections, watching how your upline deals with those objections. Hector Lamarck is one of my heroes. And he says, okay, you're not making money, but you're learning. how much did it cost you to get your college degree? How much did it cost you to get your education? How much did it cost you to learn how to do whatever it is you're doing? Well, you're paying for learning how to do this. Mm-hmm. And when you're a field trainer out in the business, taking new clients, new agents out who don't have their temporary yet, you're getting 100% of those licenses.
Wow.
You will make it back as a field trainer, and you tell people, I can make you a field trainer in 3 months. And all the premium you're losing now, you're going to get it back. But this is your training. This is how you get trained. And Hector said, you really ought to go on 20 field training appointments. Because that way you see the field. And when you've done 20 field training appointments, you're pretty grounded. You're pretty much able to do it. Now, Art Williams, I like Art. Art believes in field training appointments till you get your license, and when you get your license, you're supposed to be able to do it yourself. If you insist on taking a trainer out with, if you insist on taking the trainer out with you and you've already got your license, this is split sale. That means you're going to get 50%. I'm going because guess what? You know, I'm training you. I'm going to make some money. You do $50,000 in 12 months, you get a watch.
Oh, wow.
And if you do $50,000 in 50 recruits in 12 months, you get power book watch. Our promotion guide. This is the company guidelines. And when you're RVP, you can mess with this. You can decide what is a rep and what is a senior rep. But basically, you take out your papers, patch test your rep, and you get paid 25% on life, 25% of the first year's commission. You get 3 reps, you become a senior rep, and you get 35%. One of your downlines becomes a senior rep, and your team does $2,500 in a month. You're a district leader. District leader's everything else is leader, because at this point at which your promotion depends on recruiting and production. One of your senior reps becomes a district, and you do $5,000 in a month. You become a division. That's 60%. One of your now, when you get 3 district leaders, you have built a region, and you are now a regional leader. That's 70%.
Okay.
To become an RVP, you've got to have 6 districts, the equivalent of 6 districts. You have to do $20,000 premium over 2 months. And it's important, you can't do 5,000 and 15. You got to do at least 8,000, 8 and 12, or 12 and 8. And you got to have, at that point, you have to go full time. Art says there are no retired RVPs. Our RVP makes 110% of the annual premium. If you get 3 RVPs under you, they'll make you senior vice president, SVP. You get 6, you make NSD, bonuses, things. You get 9, you make SNSD, senior national.
Senior national sales.
And the SNSD position is designed to be a $1 million a year position. The or is ACEIX. If you've got one person on your team who has life and health, you got a downline who has life and health, and you do $100,000 securities in a month, or $20,000 a month for 6 months, he'll make you a district leader. Now, if your one downline gets a securities license, and your team does $150,000 a month for 2 months, or $30,000 a month for 6 months, that's your whole team production.
Okay.
He'll make you a division.
Okay.
If now you get 3 who have life and health and securities, and you've got $1 million assets under management.
Okay.
And an average of $50,000 a month for 6 months, he'll make you a regional leader.
Okay.
Now, this one I'm not sure of, because Eric really cannot decide who's an RVP.
He can't make that decision.
But he can recommend.
He can recommend.
And Michael Crawford, his NSD, has to sign off on it. OSJ has to sign off on it. If you got your regional leader team, 3 folk, and he wants you to have $2 million assets under management and $250,000 a month for 2 months. Eric will recommend you make RVP. Sam makes RVP, okay? Eric will get paid 15% production for Sam's life business. And he's also going to make a percentage from his securities. So Eric's always going to, Primerica's always going to pay Eric for Sam's business. Now, in Primerica, you be the RVP up there, I'll be your regional leader over here. And I'm ready to go RVP. I do what I need to promote myself RVP, and I like you promote yourself. Well, you get to keep some of my people, and you pick them out. So if you're smart, and we love to pick on Eric, but he ain't stupid.
Oh, no, not by far.
He's going to pick your best people.
Well, that's the goal. Yeah, I would go
people.
for the best people you got.
Absolutely. But as long as you and I are in business together, you're going to be making a percentage off my business. Because you trained me. And Primerica rewards RVPs for promoting RVPs. And they work very hard to keep their business from hurting by promoting the RVP. You do 3 RVPs, your SVP, the average SVP makes $300,000 a year. When you make $300,000 a year, you now own your code, you own your business. I mean, you are not going to find another financial services business anywhere where they have an ownership program. One Saturday, I pulled up YouTube and showed the launch of the Apollo 11 rocket. And 5-6 minutes in, that first stage cuts loose. And I said, they just expended like 60-70% of the fuel they're going to use for this whole mission. And Eric is he's got 4 diamonds on his ring, making $400,000 a year because he was busting his butt when he wasn't making $100,000 a year, when he was making 60, 78. I remember when he did 100 recruits one year. One of my heroes is Cheryl Bartlett. I adore Cheryl. And Cheryl says, the reason they quit is because they're quitters. Because they just quit every damn thing they try. That's what Cheryl said.
Yeah, well,
and she's right. They just quit. It's in the eye of the game is you treat them right, so they go out smiling, and you got their business, but they are going to quit. You got to hire 100 people to keep 15. Now Hector, his thing, you sign on with Hector, he's going to say, "You mind if I hold you accountable?" And he's going to sit down. What do you want? He's going to sit down and talk to you about your dreams and your aspirations. And this is what you're going to have to do to get
I like
there.
that. Hold you accountable.
Yeah, and I'm going to hold you accountable. And he'll call you the next day, and what you doing? Well, what you doing? I'm not doing anything. Well, I thought you said you wanted this. Yeah, but I just had a rough day yesterday. Okay. And he calls you 3 times, and you're not doing anything. He's going to quit calling. Bob Safford, I was telling you about. Bob got your list, and he's calling people on your list. And you call Bob, listen, Bob, I've been thinking, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know. Well, I'm sorry you're going to quit, but listen, I already got you 3 downlines. If you stay and they're productive, you're going to make money, you're going to override them.
Yeah.
So, Bob is going to do everything to give you every incentive to hang around.
To stay, yeah.
But the people who have made it big, put on the ruby ring, sapphire ring, and they do it by building a big team.
Huge teams.
And our senior national sales director, Kip Ridley, who is as gracious a gentleman as you will ever meet. And if you do something big, you're going to get a letter from Kip. And he's going to he ends the letter.
They sent me flowers.
Huh?
They sent me flowers.
Really? I had done that.
Got a couple letters.
Yeah, I got
Birthday or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
They did some business.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I got flowers. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Kip and Carol Ridley. Are you kidding me? They sent me.
Yeah, they're good people. But Kip, the letter he sends you, they all end the same way. Recruit.
Yeah.
Your friend, Kip Ridley. He always recruit.
Okay.
Kip, and they say every problem that you have can be solved on recruiting. Art's thing, and got a great book called The A.L. Williams Way. Art says the goal is to get a license on every recruit. Never do it. It never happens. You don't do it, but that's the goal. But Art says if you're not getting licenses on 50% of your recruits, you're not doing it right.
Mhm.
You're not. And Art says you build a relationship with because they'll quit on the boss, but they won't quit on the friend. Here's another number for you. Keith Otto makes $3 million a year, and Keith says you got to learn the numbers, you got to accept the numbers, you got to work the numbers, and the numbers are the numbers. Okay, here are the numbers. If you've got 10 people who will swear on their mother's grave they're going to be here on Saturday for training, 4 of them going to show up. And if you get 4 to come, 1 of them will take an IBA. Every 3 or 4 months, they have MIT, Millionaires in Training, new RVPs, go to Brazelton, Georgia, to the Chateau Lawn Winery. And there they teach them how to be an RVP. And the only people who are allowed to speak at MIT are $1 million earners. And then they do a big kickoff on Monday and send them out, and they show some of the best speeches from the weekend.
That FNA is more important, boy, to you and your family than watching TV, than doing your CD.
Anything else, okay.
Because that is going to tell you where you're at and where you need to go. Program right here, if you go to sit down with Edward Jones or anybody, it's going to cost you, Merrill Lynch, it's going to cost you $1,000 to get that.
Wow.
And we do it for free.
Honestly, you can sit down with a family and open your laptop and pull this thing out and just go thing by thing, tab by tab, and get down to the end. And you don't have to know anything. Just do this, and you're going to do business. This is one you need to memorize. What is the most important thing to you and your family financially? One of the best things Eric Hoffman says. That's how he starts. And then he ends, if I can come up with a plan that is better in every way than what you are doing, how will you